the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men in power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom. Here we go, guys. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on UnitedStates.fm network. Last Sunday, I took a weekend off. Nothing happened to me. Everything's okay. I needed to relax a little bit because I really realized that this is getting kind of serious. And even my show, of course, is a weekly show, but it takes a lot of time and effort to try to do the right job. And when I say the right job, to try to find out facts, report them, and take the time to also analyze them. You know, after all, this is supposed to be the job of every media in our county. And I don't care if you are big or small, independent journal or website or radio station. So there is much more happening, and I want to take the time to find out more what's going on. Now, we're back to local business. You know, as I said before, we have listeners from around the world. They may really probably don't care very much what's going on in Mohave County, but I think this is important because it's the exact example what we can do, no matter where you are, in which state or which county of the world, how every of us, every citizen, every human being can be responsible to create a better world. That's what we are. You know, that's why we use government. Government, the idea would be to protect our rights. And that's why as a civilized country or people, we want to evolve and we want to try to use, you know, this sort of a representative form of government that can pretty much take care of business in a civil way. Now, unfortunately, things that don't get really civil when we come to politics. There is a lot of powers, there is a lot of dark forces, and you realize that the battle between good and evil, it is not just something that is there in the books. It also happens in politics, and I really believe that politics is just another dimension where all this is happening. As I said before, I do not endorse anybody, I do not take any side by the truth. My job is to report the facts, go out there, ask questions from both sides, give the microphone, and try to give you always the same time. And I always ask you the same honest questions because I don't care who you are. Really, I don't really care. Of course, I have my own personal friendship and preferences, but when I come down behind this microphone, my job is to be impartial. Now, I had before on my show one of the candidates running for Mohave County Sheriff, and her name is Cori Merryman. By the way, she's the only woman candidate, and not because I care. Honestly, she could be also, I don't know, half enough. Will be still fine with me. I think the most important thing here is not that she's a woman, but she's a person that she has a clear agenda, and the agenda is to be a constitutional sheriff. And that, for me, was one of the most important things. And we ask questions, and you can find out, of course, one of the show that we had her like I had many other candidates on lovegunsfreedom.com. Now, today I have back her here on the show. And the reason why is not because I want to ask her more questions about her agenda or about her policy or her beliefs. We already went through that. We had Sheriff Mack. You know, I played his speech, his official, when the endorsement speech that Sheriff Mack, former Sheriff Mack, pretty much officially endorsed Mrs. Coriman. So we did all that part. Now, today is something different. You know, when somebody sues somebody else, normally I don't care if he's in the private life. But when we have the only candidate running for sheriff who is being sued in a civil court, I think it's very important. We need to find out why. I mean, this is an important matter because I really believe that we should use the court like in an appropriate way to try to keep everything civil, of course, but the same way what's really going on. So that's why I wanted to come here, and today I'm not in my show, but I'm in Havasu. And I have in front of me, in undisclosed location, here in front of me, I have Mrs. Cori Merryman. Hi, Cori, how are you?
I am excellent. How are you?
Very good. You know, you say excellent. Normally, people, when they get sued, I don't care how big or small, it's always a pain in the butt, but I'm glad that you're excellent because I would like to know more. I'm kind of concerned, even it's not my business, but I would like to know as a person that is here, you know, trying to understand also the candidates, why did you get sued and by whom? First of all, by whom?
I am being sued by Mark Collins.
And let me see, because I have in front of me this document of the Superior Court of the State of Arizona, and the County of Mohave, Mark Collins. And by the way, Mark Collins, this is public. This is the official lawsuit. So I'm reading something that is not like out of this private life. So we have a public record here from Fort Mohave Dental Care. So it's like a dentist guy.
Yes, he is a dentist in Fort Mojave, and his wife, Queen Collins, is also on the lawsuit paperwork.
So both of them, they sue you.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Mr. Collins filed a lawsuit with the court, which is obviously public record now, why I'm able to speak with you about this. He filed a lawsuit in reference to allegations that I caused him and his dentistry harm.
Okay, so, and how did you do, what type of power do you have to put, let's say, harm into this business? I mean, what did you do? Are you like the mafia? You go out there, you cut their legs off? I mean, what did you do?
Actually, absolutely nothing. He chose to post on his Fort Mojave Dental website his displeasure for me running for Mohave County Sheriff. Mm-hmm. In reciprocation of that, I did a Facebook post on my Facebook page stating that he was not pleased with me running for Mohave County Sheriff. And what I need to focus on here is that I have to make sure I'm standing up for myself and for the residents of Mohave County. So what happened here is he did a post about questioning my integrity. So on my Facebook page, I did a reciprocating post back to him stating that he is questioning my integrity. How did he come to that conclusion? Mm-hmm. Well, it would have been from an arrest.
Okay, and I'm just curious, wow, out of Facebook, so much power to Facebook. Wow, I can't believe it. It can destroy a business like that. I need to go back to Facebook a little more. Now, my question is, he started this conversation, having his First Amendment, criticizing you, whatever, that's fine. And you, of course, you defended yourself and your honor. I think that's pretty much, you engage somebody, you're going to get back something. Now, that was it?
That was absolutely it from my part. However, Alicia Hartwig is also included in this, and she had some comments back and forth and some Facebook posts, and Mr. Collins feels that I am responsible for her comments.
Okay, what's that? Alicia, who is Alicia?
Alicia is not connected to any paperwork. She's not an administrator. She's not my chairman. She's not logged anywhere as an employee, receives any monetary compensation. She is strictly a volunteer, as I have many volunteers assisting my campaign. Okay,
so now a volunteer, supposedly, allegedly, because I don't know for sure, and at this point the judge will find out, maybe the jury, we don't know anything. But this allegedly that's saying that this volunteer says something so terrible that it destroys his reputation and his business, correct?
That's correct. I can't speak for the residents who went to his dentistry if he has lost business, but I can say I am highly supported in my run for Mohave County Sheriff, and he did use his work Facebook page, and it's very unprofessional to do posts as such, but I cannot be held responsible, as my attorney has stated, for comments that other people make. That would be like me being responsible for my son if he was 18 years of age. She's not. She is just supporting my run for Mohave County Sheriff as a volunteer status, and as an honorary title, I gave her the title of District 1 Director. However, I am not responsible for what her and Mr. Collins said back and forth.
Before even we go to the responsible part, that is something, of course, needs to be proven. That's another story. And I'm not a lawyer, I'm not judge, I'm nobody. I'm just here to try to understand how. But when I used to go to law school in Italy, and of course in Italy we don't have First Amendment like here, it's kind of a little different. But even there, that is pretty much, you had to watch really what you say. But what exactly was said that is so damaging to create this course of reaction that somehow, allegedly, what we're saying here, he lost business? I mean, Alicia, what must be a proof? I'm sure they give you, maybe they will give you pretty soon some copy of this post on Facebook. What did she say? I mean, wow, did they call this guy? Any idea?
They were just back and forth on comments. I know in the paperwork he also mentioned another gentleman who called him Yellow, and Alicia.
Yeah, what is Yellow?
Yellow he just called him yellow, not like a skin color yellow, but he just said somebody who's not willing to.
Okay.
The average person would assume the color is yellow as somebody who would be like weak, which is somebody's personal opinion.
Okay. Let's say you're yellow. I'm red. Who cares?
Right.
I mean, what is that's? I mean, we are really such a soft skin. I mean, this is enough to. I'm really curious now. I mean, this is. I mean, as I said, I would like to see every. I'm sure he has post copy of the post, and I would like to call him. By the way, I pray, Mr. Mark Collins. I'm gonna call you right now after this, and I would like to have you here because I would like to have both sides of the story. And please bring me the evidence. I'm sure you have already all lined up for your lawyer. Bring me this Facebook post, print out, and we can read together on the air. Because whatever was said must be something so dramatic that really shocked your life to justify this lawsuit. I hope so. Because I tell you, the way I've been reading this document, and as I said, I'm not here to it's just my opinion, okay? I'm not judge. We'll find out exactly what the judge says, but I'm reading through this paper, and I'm sad for the trees that have been cut and the ink that is being used to have this lawsuit filed. Before even we go to the attorney's money, it's a waste. But just to have this paper, I mean, I don't know. As I said, I'm not a lawyer. I studied as law in Italy, but I never really finished because I came here. But my point is, if that is it, all the things that really were said, any other thing maybe you missed that maybe was said so bad that damages reputation?
Well, it's been made very obvious on his Facebook page that he supports another sheriff candidate running for Mohave County Sheriff, a candidate running against me.
Okay. And just, this of course is your opinion and maybe based on your suspicions, but
yes.
I mean, you support somebody else. First of all, let's say the name. I mean, that's another secret. Who supports?
Rodney Head.
And by the way, right now is working at the sheriff department, right?
Absolutely. He's the deputy chief.
Okay, so he supports that. And all I'm saying, guys, the listeners, I'm not here, we cannot claim 100% that we know everything, but we try to put like a puzzle. We give you the facts, the elements. And the first element is that there is somebody in Fort Mohave, Mr. Mark Collins, who claims in this lawsuit that I will also post on lovegunsfreedom.com so everybody can see that his business is being damaged because somebody on Facebook, in this case, Mrs. Alicia, I don't know, how is his last name, Alicia? Hartwig, said something that was somehow compromising for his reputation. Now, we know that Mr. Mark Collins also support for sheriff one of the other candidates, okay? And his name is Mr. Head, okay, Rodney Head. Right now works as a sheriff department, I think as a deputy chief, I guess, right? Yes. So these are the elements. Now, from there to go to a lawsuit just because some volunteers, one of the volunteers, not even working. I don't like to use the word working because you don't get paid. You don't work. You volunteer, okay? Mm-hmm. One of the people who's trying to help, like many other millions of volunteers around the country, like we have right now during the presidential campaign, just because they help a candidate, and maybe just because they express the First Amendment, that, by the way, for me, for what I read, for what I've seen, in America especially, that way far from justifying a lawsuit, in my opinion. But as I said, I'm no lawyer. But I would like you listeners, take the time to start to think what's going on here. Because we have right now, for me, some elements that we can start to use our own brain. We have a person that supports another sheriff for candidate, another person for sheriff. In this case, is Mr. Mark Collins, is the person who's filing this lawsuit. Then we have one candidate here, Mrs. Cori Merryman. All she did, she was trying to defend herself with a very, I read part of the post, in a very, I think, almost mild way. I'm glad I wasn't there because if it was me, I would probably wrote different thing to Mr. Collins. And that's okay, I'm glad. But the point is, what I read about what she wrote was very polite. And now all that, now we go in front of being served and be in front of a lawsuit in the middle of a campaign. Well, as I said, every one of you guys, listeners, you need to start to use your own brain. Something, it's happening in this campaign. I think we realize that when things going to get nasty, means there is a reason. And I believe when somebody starts to get some heat, maybe because he's on target or she's on target. So I don't know all story, but I really hope soon, very soon, there's going to be a judge. They're going to start to somehow go through this paperwork. And when is your first court date?
A court date hasn't actually been set yet, but I'm sure it either will be or the judge may dismiss the allegations when my attorney sends them the reciprocating letter reference these false allegations.
Okay. And question is, what do they want? Did they ask you for a specific amount of money or whatever? What do they want?
I'm not really sure what.
I mean, you
They
sue somebody
want.
because there is some damage,
He just
allegedly.
said that he's alleging damages.
Okay, but what do they want? I mean,
He's lost business, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're looking for, if it's monetarily or compensation of sorts or.
Okay. Okay, guys. This is funny because, as I said, I'm no lawyer, but if
Or intention, or for me to drop out of the race. I don't know.
Okay, very good. This is the paperwork I have in front of me. They're like 1, 2. I mean, there are a few pages, kind of a nice little block. But I'm trying to find out if there is any type of request, demand for money, and I don't see right now anything. That's kind of interesting because normally, oh yes, let's see, we got something here. For special damages paid for and according to proof within the jurisdictional limits of the court. For presumed damages paid for and according to proof within the jurisdictional limits of the court. For costs of suit and prejudgment interest. For reasonable attorney's fee. They don't really say. They pretty much just very vague. There is no number. That's very interesting because if somebody lost business, they should pretty much prove how much business you lost. Even if, first of all, even before we go there, if this is really even admissible to a court. But, wow, all I can say is a big wow. But as I say, this is important. I'm glad that you want to talk about this because many times people don't want to talk about lawsuit because they think, oh my God, I've been sued. It must be a bad trademark or excuse me, a bad stamp on me. I realize that instead this can be good. And you know why?
Yes. Well, I think this, there's always a silver lining, Luca. And I feel that, as you said, that I am running a really excellent campaign with a lot of support and also a very positive campaign. However, when people feel that somebody else is gaining speed and they want a position as well, you get attacked in different ways. So I'm looking at the silver lining in this.
Okay, very good. And as I said, I would love seriously to have 20 minutes. I would like to give you 20 minutes, Mr. Mark Collins, on the show. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. And my teeth are okay, so I don't need to see you pretty soon as a dentist. So we're going to keep it professional. And I would love to see you here.
If Mr. Collins had an issue with my arrest, as he stated on Facebook, he should have dealt with it at the time of the arrest. It's kind of convenient that it's coming out now that I'm a candidate.
How many years ago was that?
Oh, that was in 2009, I believe.
And by the way, the arrest, for what I know, they are public records. So it's not like you did some sort of revelation that you ruined, you were prying on his private life. That was a public record. When you get arrested, of course, we are all innocent until proven guilty, but it's a private record, right?
Absolutely, Luca. And then on top of it, there was a supervisor who approved the arrest and was there and present for the case and knew all the facts and had me conduct the arrest, and that was Sergeant Wilson. So, like I said, if Mr. Collins, as he stated on Facebook, had an issue at the time, whatever you're dealing with, if something is that impactful, you need to deal with it at that time and not wait years and years later.
I understand. And as I said, if somebody has a problem that we talk about your arrest, I'm sorry. The arrest is a public record. So, Mr. Mark Collins, I'm glad that you didn't go to jail and somehow you were found a way to be innocent, and that's great. But the point, you were arrested, so that was public. So we can talk about that all we want, or should be worried that now you're going to sue me too because I'm talking about your arrest. Anyway, Mrs. Merryman, thank you very much. And as I said, I would like to right now call Mr. Mark Collins, and I'll call him right now probably to his office, okay? And I really hope to be here. Maybe he can give me some revelations that I don't know, because all I know now is what Mrs. Merryman told me, and of course the paperwork from the law offices of Frank Waters, that is the office of this lawyer that is taking care of this lawsuit on behalf of Mr. Mark Collins. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. And let's see, maybe if we get lucky, we can talk to Mr. Mark Collins. Don't go away.
In this world where everything seems to be going sideways,
When you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap, you deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com.
Fort Mohave Dental, how may I help you?
Yes, hi, good afternoon. My name is Luca Zanna. I'm from the radio show Love, Guns and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM. And I was trying to reach the Dr. Mark Collins, if he's there.
I'm sorry, where are you from?
From the radio show Love, Guns and Freedom. And he's on K-Talks 1340 AM down in Needles. But also I'm here in Arizona. And another thing, I wanted to talk, if it's possible, to Mr. Collins regarding the lawsuit that I've been covering on the show.
Oh, you know what? Let me see if they're available.
Thank you. Here we go. I talked briefly with Mr. Dr. Mark Collins. I'm not going to put it on the air because pretty much said nothing, that he was going to talk to an attorney, and I respect that before he was going to be on the air. This is not an ambush type of reporting, okay? I give you the opportunity to talk, and if you don't want to talk, that's fine. So bottom line, he doesn't seem to be wanting to talk right now, but he said that he was consulting the attorney. That was probably a few days ago. I didn't hear from him back. I am assuming that he doesn't want to talk. That's fine. At that point, I think the best thing I can do, because why I'm doing this, people say, why do I even care about this lawsuit of this dentist against candidate Cori Merryman? I tell you why. Because first of all, I think it's an important news. We have a public figure running for office. She's been sued. I think it's news. But more important, why? Now, that's the most important part. And I tell you something. As I said, I'm not judge. I'm not lawyer. I'm not even a juror. Okay? I'm not part of the jury. I'm here. I'm just reading. I can read. Yes, I have an accent. My grammar sometimes sucks. But I can still read English and translate. Okay? Well, let me put it this way. I think every one of you should be able to read these documents and make up your mind. When I was in Italy, I studied for law school. I was more than halfway. Yeah, probably I was going to become a lawyer. I never really was interested that much. And I wanted to come to America. That's why I didn't continue. But regardless, I tell you something. My opinion, and this is my opinion, of course, this is just pure BS. This lawsuit, my opinion, this is First Amendment 101, number one. This is not even in, I don't know, even in England, they would sue you for that stuff. More important is the funny thing, the way they associate Mr. Merryman, just because one of her campaign, volunteer of her campaign, says something, by the way, was talking about facts. So anyway, all I say, you read, I'm not here. I would like to have Mr. Mark Collins on the show, seriously, because I want to give him the chance to explain. I would love that. And this is exactly the purpose of the show. I'm not here to say, okay, I bring you in, and the other side I'm not. So we're going to somehow make up our own reality. No, I want both sides on. I just can be used as a, let's say, mediator. Yes, I have my opinions on things. I have still a brain, and I think. Somehow. But at the end of the day, most importantly, you, the people, you, the listeners, make up your mind. According to the facts I submit here. So that's the story. Now, I will put all these 15 pages of this lawsuit. In my opinion, it is really, I mean, not just mine. I talked to a couple lawyers out there because I like to get legal advices from real people. And they were laughing hysterically. But unfortunately, it's not funny because, even if it's a frivolous lawsuit, you still, need to get a lawyer, time, a little bit of stress, maybe not much because, if you're used to this stuff, probably it's fun. You can go there and you sue them back. That's what I would do. But that's another story. Check it out. And maybe it must be a reason. I mean, the point is always cui benefit, cui bonus. That's what the ancient Roma used to say. Why now we have a private citizen, business owner, suing this candidate? For really no reason. But first of all, I would like to be asked to Mr. Mark Collins, who do you support for campaign for this sheriff candidate for 2016? Who is your candidate? All I can say, well, there are some Facebook printout that I was able to receive, and it's pretty disturbing. Seems like there is some sort of a plan. According to the printout that I was given from his screenshot from Mr. Mark Collins, it seems like he's a very adamant supporter of another candidate. And you will find out who is, because I will post it on lovegunsfreedom.com. You go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. There is a link. It's called Mark Collins against Cori Merryman. Just a page with all the facts. Of course, this interview and all the 15 pages of this lawsuit, and also the screenshots of Mr. Mark Collins, who supports this other candidate running for the position of Mohave County Sheriff. And then maybe, as I said, every one of us can make up their minds. That's it. That's all it is about here. I'm not imposing my ideas on anybody, of course. Who am I? All I want to do, I want to share these facts. But I tell you, my opinion, this is pretty iffy, pretty weird. Let's put it this way. That's why I wanted to have Mr. Mark Collins on the air, because I really want to give him the chance to explain it. Maybe sometimes, I'm kind of slow, I cannot even read very well. Maybe he can help me out to understand better some points that I have some questions for him. That's fine. Let's move on. I don't want to give too much more attention to this. At this point, as I said, this microphone is open to every side. Talking about this type of idea, I have my friend Ken Rhodes. He's a great guy. I really like him a lot. And talking about Pete Santilli. Pete Santilli right now is rotting in jail, waiting for this sentence, probably a 100-year sentence, like with Eric J. Parker, that, by the way, you're going to be able to listen to him to the second hour directly from the federal prison. I mean, this is now waiting to go into the federal prison, but 1 year or more to just before he gets to trial. So talking about Pete Santilli, I want to be sure something's clear. There is a lot of the news going around on the internet about Pete Santilli is, allegedly saying that, he's an FBI informant, or he's a plant, or whatever. Listen, all I say, every one of us deserve a trial before we get judges found guilty or anything. That's number one thing. And number two, we should always be facing the accusers. Yes, we may have opinions. Yes, maybe ideas that maybe may lead us to some conclusions. But the idea is, before we start to completely condemn somebody, let's have at least the opportunity to have him on the bench and ask him questions and give him the opportunity to defend. That's all I'm saying. Now, talking about me and Pete Santilli, I want to be straight here. I had a problem with him, and it's not even about the show. This is something about different. Yeah, my show was rebroadcast by Guerrilla Media Network. And, out of the blue, overnight, he changed everything. That's fine. It's his business. I don't care. He cut off all the other third-party shows. That's fine. I have no soft skin for that. Honestly, I was very thankful for the time he gave me to be on his network. And that's not even the point. The point is he had to take care of that. I wish, of course, that he would have given a little bit more of dignity to give me at least a phone call when the show was cut off. So I don't have any personal axe to grind with him. I wish him well. I hope he's going to be able to defend himself. And I also want to have probably Debbie, his girlfriend, on the show, because I want to give her a chance. She knows Pete very well, and all these allegations about Pete coming out, I'm not going to be the type, if somebody wants to be on my show, he wants to bring, let's say, allegations about me, that's fine, that I don't know, that I am a liberal in disguise, or maybe, I don't know, I committed something wrong, or whatever I think may be offending me. Of course, must be related to public business, okay? But the point is, I want you on, and I would love to engage you, because I would like to face the accusers. That's part also being talk show, that's the idea. So I said, somebody, let's say, because there is a lot of voicing, forget about the FBI informant. There was this big, the trackers march on Washington a few years ago. There were allegations that Pete did something not completely nice to some of these organizers. So I don't know all the facts. All I know what I've been told. But I would like to bring both facts. And not just because I want to bring or put Pete down, especially now that he's in jail. Poor bastard. I mean, I feel sorry for him, seriously. Like, all these guys don't deserve that. But because I want to give him the opportunity to defend himself and keep things straight. That's what it is about this show, seriously. So when I bring, let's say, a candidate like Mrs. Cori Merryman, because she's being sued by this Mr. Mark Collins, it's my duty and my desire to bring Mr. Mark Collins here. Like what I did with, Mr. David Johnson a couple of weeks ago. This citizen, this concerned resident of Mohave County, who had found allegations, allegedly, candidate Schuster, running for sheriff, allegedly, broke some law, allegedly. So I had to bring them both. Of course, Schuster didn't come, but Mr. Jim Leeson came. So this is exactly the idea, to have a real talk show. Not something that it is prefab, pre-made. Some things we can talk, some things we cannot talk. No, we can talk about everything here. Okay? That's the idea. So, now, somebody wants to be on the show, and I always say, this show is recorded. That's true. But, I am very available. By the way, I'm going to try to start to go back live. I think it was kind of fun. I enjoy the phone calls. You never know who's going to be the next idiot calling. And sometimes there are a lot of great people, but sometimes a lot of people that they can't wait to think, I got you now, I'm going to embarrass you. Go ahead. Seriously, I love that. You can say everything you want on my show. The only thing I ask you, don't say, because we can't, it's still on the air. Use the language that is family, friendly. We have to comply with the FCC rules. For the rest, we can talk about anything that is relevant, okay? I'm not going to talk about, football. I couldn't care less. This is not our topic. When it comes down to love, guns, and freedom, you're welcome. And if you want to have critics or ideas, improvement, everything. So that's the situation. So I wish the best to Mr. Mark Collins to come back on this show if he can. I really do. Seriously, I have no agendas. I hope we can talk. Maybe he can enlighten me. But more important, I want you guys go to lovegunsfreedom.com. Check it out. Check this 15 pages lawsuit against Cori Merryman. And you tell me what you think. As I said, what I think is a bunch of BS, seriously. And as I said, I'm not just reporting the news, I also am a commentator, and I need to read things. Maybe I'm wrong, that's why I wanted to bring Mr. Mark Collins on the air and his lawyer to at least explain to me. That's it. But if they can't, my limited English, I have to read the way I can read. All right, guys. Now, next situation. We go to some more news, but before a little song, okay? I remind you that you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. And this is no NPR. I said many times, this is not the government. Nobody's coming to your door with a gun pointed at your face, extorting your money under some law. No. This is about free market as it can be. First of all, please support the station if you can. I think it's they're trying very hard to relaunch the station. But beside that, of course, my show is an independent show. I'm here. I'm also on the internet, and it takes me time. Honestly, I don't need this job. I don't care about this job. I don't care to be on the air. I don't need the attention. I don't want the attention. I already have enough. And I don't really need all this. Why am I doing this? Say, you know what? 2 years ago, I was given an opportunity. At the beginning, I was almost laughing at myself. And I said, are you kidding me? Can't even speak straight here. They don't even understand me, probably. Then I say, you know what? Maybe I can improve. Maybe I should improve. Since I'm in America, I need to improve. So give me the opportunity to improve my English, number one, at least to be more focused and learn, because the show gives me the opportunity to learn a lot about many things. And also, when I realized that every one of us has a responsibility, I said, you know what, this is going to be my little commitment. Everybody does, at least everybody should do a little bit of love. Some people go to the hospital, try to help the people that are sick. Some people help the people that are poor. Some people help, I don't know. You want to help. You want to do your little human part, okay? My little part is spend few hours, maybe more than few, unfortunately. It's getting more and more time consuming, to put every Sunday a show that brings you news, facts, and opinion, to try to awake every one of you who's listening. And I don't care if you are from England or from Germany, Italy, or Kansas City. We are human beings. For sure, we are here Americans. We have God-given rights, and nobody's going to take it away from us. And I pray all over the world, they're going to be able to unite and take their rights too. That's my goal. And that's pretty much the idea. So it's my form of love and activism. That's why I'm here, okay? Sometimes we talk about things that they're not exactly easy. Now listen to the second hour I'm going to present to you today. It's pretty disturbing, I'm telling you, pretty disturbing. Phone call recorded directly from the federal, or whatever it is, prison. And then, of course, who else is recording, not just the facility, but also the FBI and everybody else. And they try always to find anything they can to throw at you. And right now, remember, you know very well, I already told you so many times, doesn't matter if you are perfect. You say, I've done nothing to hide, I'm fine. Why should we be worried? You know what? Doesn't matter. We are living under the Patriot Act. We are living under the National Defense Authorization Act. And we have also, Mao Zedong from Kenya sitting right now at the White House. How does it sound that? Okay? With the plan that has been set more than 50 years ago, now we're at the final stage or the final takeover. So people, anybody of you that say, I have nothing to hide, doesn't matter. First of all they need now is an excuse, even just a mistake. Under the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012 that Obama signed, of course with Congress pushing it, both Democrats and Republicans, don't forget that. Any one of us, just because suspected, let me underline the word suspected, to be a terrorist, that is pretty much now a very wide word. Remember, returning veterans, they are on top of the list of domestic terrorists according to Homeland Security. So think about that. Gun owners, libertarians, if you believe in freedom, if you believe in peace, if you don't agree with the government, right there. And there is a list that's so long. Christians, who doesn't believe in socialism, who doesn't believe in the global government. That's it. Keeps going. So the point is, any one of us can be suspected to be labeled as terrorist. And then, of course, you can be technically kidnapped directly by the military. They don't use anymore the police. Yeah, they can use but they technically use the military. This is a complete dissolution of the posse comitatus. So the military can be used on U.S. soil to fight American citizens, kidnap them, and indefinitely, and I say again, indefinitely, detain them without due process, without any type of access to jury or judge and, of course, lawyers. Think about that. Don't believe me, that's fine. Go ahead and check it out. There's been a lawsuit about that. This is even, thankfully, I said, even some organizations, normally they do completely lefty things, but now they got it down right, lawyers, just check it out, National Defense Authorization Act. So that's the point where we're living. So that's why I'm saying the show is not exactly something that is good for your health, okay? But I still need your help. I need your help. So how can you help? As I said, I don't beg for charity or things like that. No, I offer you products. That's what I do. So if you want to be on the show, support the show, then There are many ways. Number one, yes, listen to the show and spread it around. That's great. I appreciate it. But, we need also some little dollars here to keep the things going. So you can go to zanna.us, www.zanna.us. That's really the easiest way, the painless way. Just 99 cents. You can download any of my songs, zanna.us. If you are, 99 cents, I appreciate it. Trust me, every one of you guys could give 99 cents buying any of my songs. That will really help this show. Number two, by the way, 99 cents, you don't even feel it. Seriously. I mean, it's a tip. It's not even a coffee. Then number two, you can go to zannacoffee.com, www.zannacoffee.com, the best organic coffee. There is, of course, now the new line, the new blend, 1776, the coffee to brew a revolution. And then, of course, we just launched the month before Straight Shot Espresso. That, by the way, is not just for espresso. They are all beans, so you can grind them and do whatever you want with those. All organic. And I have a new blend coming. I'm not even going to tell you the name. It's going to be hot. It's going to be super hot. And by the way, I want to say something. If you are a store, if you are any type of retail store in Mohave County, anywhere you listen to this broadcast, especially Mohave County, Fort Mohave, Bullhead, whatever, Laughlin, Golden Valley, whatever you listen to the show, and you want to carry the coffee, I welcome you. I will give you wholesale prices because I don't like even to do retail, So I would be happy to work with the local businesses who want to carry my coffee. And I tell you, especially if you like extremely good coffee, it's organic, GMO-free, and fair trade. People say, what it means fair trade? We don't use slaves. That's the simple question. Simple answers. Yes, everybody gets paid decently, according to free market, of course. Okay? But the point is, nobody's working for free with a chain around their neck. That's the bottom line. So that's the way you can help. And then, of course, now we have the Freedom Rifle. That I already talked about that last Sunday. And freedomrifle.com, the most affordable, military-grade AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, chamber in the 223 Wild. By the way, it is this configuration, the first configuration that we have, it's the M4 carbine, US made. Is amazing. Just $499. Let me say again, $499 a rifle. You get the upper from me. Don't trade on us upper. I'll direct you also from one of my FFL dealers that will ship you the lower. Then you get a bunch of free bonuses. Just to let you know, with the upper, you also get a free copy of the United States Constitution in parchment, like a replica. Beautiful. $15 value. Then you get a copy also on my CD, Don't Trade on Us, digital version, downloadable. Then you get also on the ejection port of the upper, it's laser engraved, Don't Trade on Us, the American flag. Beautiful, nobody else has that. Rifle by Zanna. Then you have also, just to let you know, access to rifletraining.tv, where you can download all the chapters from my book, How to Become a Rifleman, and be able to use this rifle safely, and also more important, as important, I would say, in a way as a marksman, as a qualified rifleman. Being able to shoot 4 minutes of angles with no benches, just from standing, sitting, and prone using your sling. So that's very important. And then the first 100 guys, person, women, doesn't matter. By the way, I'm a lot of women buying the rifle. That's great. You get also a free t-shirt. Slaves are never armed. I'm not a slave. So that's pretty much the way you can help. And why I'm spending this little extra time, because sometimes, I do interviews for an hour, and my goal is just to bring you the information. That's it. I don't even go around looking for sponsors, because sometimes if I have to look for a sponsor, sometimes I need to sacrifice some other things. Of course, I like to have good sponsors, but must be always sponsors that will respect the content of this show. In this show, we can talk about everything. You can also talk about me. I'm being an idiot. That's fine. I don't have a soft skin. If you think I'm whatever you want to say, let's talk about it. Come on the show. That's fine. All I say, do not use a language that is no FCC. And more important, B, makes sense. This is not about insulting each other. If you have a real reason, something that I've done wrong or whatever, I'm not afraid to bring you on and we can talk about it, okay? That's the bottom line. Now, little bit of music, and then we go with some other news. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. Do not go away.
I support the immigration that loves integration. I support the immigration that loves this great nation. I'm an immigrant myself, so if you got a chip on your shoulder, just go to hell. This is America, one country, one language. Our politicians, maybe they don't wanna hear, but this town, Pancho Villa, you're gonna stop here. Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer. Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer. If you come to desecrate, if you come to separate with your pathetic reconquista, all we're gonna say to you is hasta la vista. You and la raza are the new Nazis. You don't wanna integrate, you teach how to hate, but then of course you like it. You like to eat off America's plate. Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer. Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer. Our fathers fought for this land that we are gonna defend. These are our national borders. Hey, Mr. Fox, we don't take your orders. No. Hey, Pancho Villa, if you hate this flag, but sure this time you're gonna stop here. I got 4 words for you: get out of here. Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer. Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer.
We, the people of the United States of America, this time we are waiting for you at the gate. For our sons, for our country, for our faith. No lawyers, no politicians, no more BS. This time, dear Pancho Villa, we're gonna kick your ass.
Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer. Pancho Villa, if you don't like this country, you're gonna stop here. We don't need your beans, we don't need your beer.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed. That was a song of mine. Pancho Villa stops here. And just to be sure, if you read the lyrics, this song, it is not against people that are from Mexico at all. I'm an immigrant myself, as the song said. But if you come here to desecrate, if you come here to hate, with your reconquista in your mind, guess what? Go back where you're from. That's the bottom line. I have a lot of friends. I don't even call them Latinos, Mexican, American. No, they're Americans for me. Yeah, they have an accent, sound a little bit like mine. That's fine. I don't talk to them like they're Mexican Americans. They're Americans with an accent, like myself. So this song is not against immigrants. No. This song is against illegal aliens who come here and want to take over. That's the bottom line. Look what happened. Look what happened in California just a couple of days ago with Donald Trump and the protesters. Look at the scenes. Look at exactly the act of violences. Waving Mexican flags high, burning American flags, being violently beating up people just because you don't agree with them. Okay? Seriously. Seriously. This is exactly the plan. California, it's gone. California, unfortunately, it's already part now of the Reconquista. I feel sorry for my friends in California. Sometimes, you got to lose a battle to win the war. But it's time to learn from the mistakes. So for all the people who are coming from California, escaping California to Arizona or Texas, wherever you go, please come, but do not do the same mistakes. Do not bring the same type of attitude. Come here. Let's join together. Let's regroup and we will take California back. But the reality is that what's happening in California exactly now, and I don't care if it was Trump, I don't care if it was Sanders or Hillary, that of course I couldn't stand and so Sanders, and I'm not even a fan of Donald Trump. This is about freedom of speech. This is about the right for people that able to peacefully protest or peacefully exercise the First Amendment. I mean, there were being people there, I saw him in blood, being beaten up by these rabid leftists or Reconquistas, whatever they are. Okay, just because they don't like Trump. Who cares? It's not about Trump. So that's the bottom line. Seriously, we have a serious problem. We have not a problem with illegal immigration. We're way past that. We have a problem right now with an invasion. Started a long time ago. We had the final stage, and Obama, of course, is bumping it up 100 times. Not just with the illegal aliens from Guatemala or Mexico that we already got by hundreds of thousands the last couple of years, 5 years, with this amnesty by de facto, by executive order, but also now with, of course, the wave of Syrians, refugees, uncontrolled, unchecked, thousands and thousands. They don't have time to assimilate. Look at me. I've been here 18 years, for God's sake, and I still talk like that. Okay? And I'm trying to assimilate. I'm trying very hard. What do you think? People come here, boom, straight, they give them... By the way, how long it takes to even have a chance to have a green card? 5, 6, 7 years. These people brought by Obama from Syria, wherever they're from, they go straight, they bypass everybody. We pay also for their lawyers. We pay for their airplanes. There is also Walmart, $1,000 free card. Think about it. This is an insult to every law-abiding working American, man and woman or between. Think about that. So that's the story, guys. We are invaded. We've been invaded. And what happened with Trump exactly in California a couple of days ago, it is just another proof. As I said, it's not about Trump. This is about the violence of these people. Now, by the way, talking about different type of standards, disrupting the traffic on a highway, beating up a police or burning a police car, physical real harm. These people they're never gonna be treated like now in the second hour you will listen to Eric J. Parker directly from Henderson, Nevada, the prison waiting for his trial, more than 1 year waiting for a trial. He's facing 107 years in federal prison. He didn't touch anybody, he didn't harm anybody. No previous record, nothing. Law-abiding man, working man, family man. And him and like people like him, like Pete Santilli and the Bundys and many other people that really have no records. No record. They are facing 100 years in jail. Instead, look at those bastards right now in California beating up people, interrupting traffic on the highway. That, by the way, that was supposed to be a federal crime. I mean, burning, destroying property, also injuring people. I'm amazed nobody got killed. I don't see any type of federal investigation on that. I don't see the Department of Justice going after them. Wake up. Wake up. We are already being invaded. The enemy is already inside the control room. This is no more American that we had 50, 60 years ago. By the way, it wasn't perfect, okay? We were already under siege. Okay? All I had to give you the magic word, gross in all. Jeff Kennedy. And the guy wasn't a saint, but guess what? Compared to what we have now, guess what? That's why he got killed, murdered. He was trying to do something. So my point is this one. Please, let's unite. Let's stop playing politics. Let's stop saying, oh, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, or I'm independent, whatever. We are right now all screwed. That's the bottom line. If you tell me there is any difference between a Clinton, okay, or a Bush, or Obama, you must be insane. Seriously. I don't know what we're going to vote for. All I know that right now, we are screwed. But we got to wake up. Seriously. And I'm not a fan of Trump. There are things that, as I said, I don't agree with him. I don't even know really who he is, because according to his words, as I said a few shows ago, he used to say different things. But the other side, Cruz is another scumbag completely. And I don't even want to talk about Sanders or Hillary. So I have no idea. But the reality is, does it really matter? Look what they're doing. At least one thing Trump is doing is exposing the fraud of the elections. You can vote whatever you want. It is just a way to keep your mouth shut and to pacify you. That's the reality. You see, Trump gets all the votes and he doesn't get the delegates. It's a fraud. It's an illusion. Okay, but this is not an illusion. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't go away. Ready for hour number 2. It's a very disturbing phone call from this prison in Anderson with Eric J. Parker, facing 107 years in jail for a conspiracy. Yes, a conspiracy. Don't go away.
We're the Minutemen. We're gonna stand for our country. We'll fight till the end. We're the Minutemen. We're gonna stand for our country. We'll fight till the end. We're the Minutemen. We're common people. We're just women and men, but our borders will defend.